Hello everybody, I'm just here just to make a video about breeding tips and breeding selections for people that are new to the game fowl industry and people that may have game fowl but they're not, I guess you can say, educated in game fowl breeding. Um, One of my biggest tips is to find a verified breeder. Like going to some of these people that are and it's nothing against anybody because everybody takes a lot of time and priorities in breeding and raising their fowl, and you have to respect that because everybody, you know that's their own bloodline. So never be rude to anybody or disrespectful to anybody about their bloodlines. Let's just make that clear. But there are a lot of peddlers out here in this industry, a lot of people that buy and sell chickens, and they don't raise chickens, they don't breed chickens. And it's real easy to get scammed out here, and that's one thing that I'm trying to talk to you about, to try to help you to avoid stuff like that. Because honestly, if you want to go to somebody's yard where it's an unverified breeder, they don't, you can't verify how they breed their chickens, what their program is. You can't verify that what you're getting is what they say that they're getting. It's just, you have to trust their word. And sometimes people's word really don't mean anything because I don't like to talk about it, but I'll give you an example. Like I told this guy, hey man, I'm looking for a certain type of hen, and I need this hen, and I would like her to be pure. He was like, oh yeah, I know somebody that has those. We can go ahead and we'll check them out and stuff like that. Well, long story short, we go check them out, and I liked them. I was like, okay, these birds look solid. I was like, are these pure? And he's like, yeah, these are pure. And so I got a hen, and then I take it and I breed it into my program. And in the process of breeding these chickens, like most of my bloodlines, they're refined, they're pure, like purified, as pure as you can get. Like they spent generations. I've spent generations breeding those chickens a certain way. And when I try to use new blood to see, because sometimes don't don't fall for these people saying, oh, these are pure, 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 everything's pure, 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 because I mean, sorry to break it to you, most of these bloodlines aren't pure. I mean, even like when they originally made the round heads, it was some random cock that they got off of a cargo ship and they bred it to white hackle. Same with clarets. It was a random cock they found on a walk on a racehorse track, and they bred it to white hackles. Butchers, a Cuban type fowl that was a speeder gray, bred to white hackles. Like there's become this obsession with people being like, oh, well, my fowl are pure, and it's like, what is pure? It's like back in the 1800s, purity meant you're breeding a line to a certain phenotype. You're breeding a certain feathering, a certain plumage, and these chickens will always come this exact plumage. There will be no variation. That's purity, and it had nothing about, oh, well, this is a pure claret, or this is a pure kelso, or this is a pure, it's like, don't fall for any of that. You want a good line. Like, there are some people that will maintain a pure line, and these lines do cost a lot of money. Don't fool yourself, they will cost you a lot of money. So, and most of those people are verified breeders, and that's where I'm trying to get at trying to get from a verified breeder. Because when I bred that one hen into my program, I noticed a diversity of genetics spawned from just that one hen. And I was all like, well, it's obvious that that hen isn't pure. It's like, so I called the guy and I was like, hey man, this hen, showed a lot of diversity that I didn't see in my fowl before I bred her. And he was all like, oh, well, what happened? And I was like, oh, well, she just like, the fowl just didn't look the way that I expected them to look. And there was no uniformity in them, and there was just certain traits that I just did not like. And I was all like, what is into these chickens? He was like, oh, well, a long time ago I bred some ruble hatch into him, and then I bred some dom into him. And I was like, you bred what? And he was like, yeah, I bred some dom into him. And I was like, and I knew right away, you know, I was like, that's what I'm seeing. That's why the genes that I was trying to express in this breeding were being canceled out, because there was too much diversity in that blood, and it diluted the blood that I wanted to, you know, try to infuse. So it was like you wasted. I mean, it's like you wasted my time, bro. I mean, seriously. I could have been breeding a different hen. I could have been, you know, doing something with my program that wouldn't have wasted my time. And, you know, you just gotta think about it like some breeders. The sad part about it is some breeders breed for performance. They don't breed for purity. They don't breed for like maintaining a phenotype or a certain genetic look, you know. And sadly, that's harming the whole breeding situation, because you have also people like breeding like hatch kelsos and then selling them as pure kelsos or selling them as pure hatches after, you know, the line has been bred either one way or another. Or, you know, they'll be like, oh, well, these are pure hatches, but they have like an eighth of a seal or something like that. And then you start seeing these traits that aren't supposed to be expressed in American chickens, you know? Like if you're trying to keep your birds authentic American game fowl, and they have a seal in them and they didn't tell you, it's like, dude, I could be wasting time on a bloodline that I shouldn't even be messing with because you didn't want to be honest. It's like, so honesty is a big thing for me. I'm an honest breeder. I mean, you probably won't find most breeders like me. I'll tell you like it is, because if something happens in your program from my fowl, I would like to know where in my program the error happened, you know, so that I can fix it. You know, me being honest with you helps me being honest with myself and my own program, because a lot of people will be like, oh, well, that's pure, pure, pure. And then, you know, they have all these markings on their birds and stuff like that. But it really doesn't matter because they've changed their pin so many times. And it's like they can't really track where the error happened or what happened. And then by the time you know it, your bloodline has gone sour, or they've gone bad, they've gone cold, you know, something happened to them because of some kind of blood that you put into them that somebody did not inform you was inside that blood that you used. So it's important to keep your old fowl that you know are good fowl, that are from pure lines. And it's nice if people would start being more honest about their breeding programs, and not wasting people's time, you know. Like, it's just you know, just don't fall for these people's scams, basically, and being like, oh, I got pure this, I got pure that. It's like, just tell me what it is, bro. Like, don't don't, you know, beat around the bush with me. It's like, but you'll get that a lot from a lot of breeders. So, you know, just be informed about that. And if possible, like I said, try to get from a verified breeder. That's like one of the most important things, is like, get from somebody that you know has a record of breeding fowl that is consistent. Like, they will come uniform. They, you know, there won't be variations in your blood, so that if something does happen, you'll be able to find out where it happened, you know. And then another thing that I would like to tell people is like, don't be afraid. I mean, if you're raising these chickens, don't be afraid to put your name behind them, you know. If you're afraid to put your name behind them, then you shouldn't even be raising them. You shouldn't even be selling them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, don't be using somebody else's name and selling junk, and then acting like, oh, well, it was so and so's fault that those birds are no good, when you know that it was you that bred something into those chickens, and then you try to blame it on somebody else. It's like, it's it's sad how some things are in this, industry, but it is what it is, and you got to be careful with people. Um, when selecting chickens, it would always be nice if you can go to the person's yard and actually see their chickens, and then talk with that person, and see their program, see their brood pen, so that you can see like, hey, this is how this person does it, and then go from there. Go from your selection being like, you know. But if you're ever on a yard and you see like stuff like me personally, I'll never breed doms on my yard. And my dad had a thing where he told me, never breed doms. He said, yeah, if I ever see a dom on this property, I'm gonna cull it. So I was like, okay, so I never breed doms, and I'll never have dom blood on my yard whatsoever. And if you ever see somebody, like, you go to somebody's yard and you see their program and they got a bunch of hens running the yard, a bunch of tie cords and stuff like that, it's like there will always be a chance that you could get a yard cross. So keep that in mind. Unless you can verify that they have a very, very, very strict program, and that they single pin breed everything and blah blah blah, then there's always a chance. So like, say somebody has doms, and then they have sweaters, and then they have hatch, and then they have like Sid Taylors or something like that. Like, just be aware that doms are on that property, and that you are gonna take a risk if that person isn't an honest person with getting blood that may have dom blood in it, when you don't want doms coming out of your fowl like 10 years down the line and stuff like that. Because once you put something in a bloodline, you can't technically get it back out. It'll always be present in the genome. You can always put stuff in, but you can never put it out. You can never pull it out unless you go back in time and delete that whole program and start with that fowl that did not have that dom blood. And it's sad that sometimes you have to do stuff like that because somebody wasn't honest with you, but it is what it is. And you have to be honest with yourself, you have to be honest with your program, and, you know, what are you trying to achieve with your program? Like, are you trying to achieve authentic American game fowl, or are you trying to achieve like some crossed up chicken that doesn't mean anything to anybody because it's just, a marketing thing that you're trying to market? It's like, what is your angle at this program that you're trying to establish? All right. So, I mean, I think that should cover most of what I wanted to get at. I know another thing that I wanted to get at is like, say you have Sid Taylors, don't be marketing them as like, don't be marketing them as Warhorse or something like that. It's like, what are you doing, dude? Like, because somebody that does have Warhorse buys one of your chickens, and then they breed it to them, and then they start seeing traits that they did not see in their Warhorse before they bought your bloodline. It's like, dude, you're wasting people's time. It's like, that's a Sid Taylor. It's like, if it has brassy wings and stuff like that, then it's like, that is a trait that could follow that genetics. And if a person's Warhorse had never had the brassy wing genetics, it's you could be harmful to their blood, dude. It's like you're wasting their time by calling it a Warhorse when it's a Sid Taylor. Be honest. Why do you got? And like, don't lie to people. There's no reason for it. It doesn't get you anywhere, and it'll always come back on you. Okay, so just be honest. And I guess that's about it for today. Um, I'm gonna be writing a book soon finishing a book about breeding, so that it could help some rookies and people that are getting into the game fowl industry to understand genetics and pure breeding and that whole kind of situation like that. But until I do, just be smart about it. Don't get scammed.